Hello friends, very warm welcome from CA Mayank Vadhera. This video is basically for those who have taken GST registration number or are about to take the same. So friends, if you have already taken the number and it was done just because your consultant told you to do so, then you have an option to surrender it, provided you check whether you definitely need it or not. So whether you need it or not is something that we are going to discuss in this video. Now the people who are looking up for the registration, first of all you decide whether you need it or not based on this information that we are going to share through this video. Now first of all, let us take example from a practical perspective that a person can be a trader or a retailer or a manufacturer, or he can be a wholesaler, or can be a service provider. Now in any of these kind of categories in which a person is dealing with, and it can be a company or a private limited, or means a private limited company or a public limited company, a trust, section 8 company, an individual, LLP, or any category of a taxpayer you are. So whatever we will be going to discuss with you will be purely for all category of taxpayers. We are not going to leave behind any particular category, especially if you are a company or a limited liability partnership. Then came to our notice that a lot of companies in Chennai are basically pushing you to take the number in the initial phase, and you ended up paying a lot of penalties. A lot of people have ended up paying a lot of penalties of GST without any reason. You don't need the GST number itself, but you have taken it up. Not a problem. If you have still taken it up, it is your responsibility that you should get your returns filed on time. And in case you don't need it, then just surrender it or get it cancelled. You can do it online, and you can take help of a professional if you want to get it done. No need to get into a trap of a consultant who is just selling their package or a service. So now let's come to this part, like whether you should take the registration or not. So this will help you to decide whether you should surrender or cancel it out or not. So I'll just tell you the two categories due to which you have to decide in these two categories whether you are falling in any of these. So one is turnover based criteria, and second is the type of service provider that falls under section 24, service provider or a good seller that falls under section 24. Now if you are someone who has a turnover beyond 20 lakh and you are a service provider, or you are selling goods or services both, you should take GST registration number because your turnover is exceeding this certain amount, which is 20 lakh rupees. If you are dealing exclusively into goods, in that case the turnover limit is 40 lakh rupees, and this 40 lakh rupees limit is across India except few cases like Telangana, where the limit is 20 lakh even if you are dealing exclusively in goods, and the specified hilly areas also have a limit of 20 lakh rupees, except these three specified areas, which are Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh and Assam. So these three hilly areas have limit of 40 lakh like other state, but all the hilly areas, specified hilly areas and Telangana have a limit of 20 lakh even if you are dealing into goods. So this is a turnover based criteria that you have to see in which state you are, and whether for that particular state means you are dealing in goods only as a trader, as a manufacturer, or as a retailer, wholesaler. You have to see based on your gross turnover whether you have to take the registration or not. And when I am saying about gross turnover, so gross turnover means that your turnover from all the states, from wherever you are dealing. It doesn't mean that your aggregate, so there is a term called aggregate turnover that is defined under law, and that term says that if you are doing your supply of goods from any of the states, so your aggregate turnover for all the states has to be added up, and then you have to check whether you are your turnover is exceeding that particular specified limit or not. It's not only for GST registration, but for all other purposes also the criteria remains same. And only the no supply and non-taxable supplies under GST, these two things have to be excluded while calculating your aggregate turnover. Apart from it, if you are doing taxable supply or exempt supply or zero rated supply, in all these cases you have to add up the turnover to arrive at the aggregate turnover. And to check, you have to get it checked either on your own or through a professional help. I will recommend that you should go through a professional help to arrive at this decision whether you should take or not. You should take a GST number or not. Now coming to the specified category of taxpayer which are defined under section 24. So if you are a casual taxable person, except when you are dealing into handicrafts, casual taxable person means a person who basically goes to some other state and participates in trade fairs and all, like in Pragati Maidan, Delhi, or in any other place in Bangalore, or any particular state, wherever you go as a person to participate as in a particular trade fair. In that case, you have to take the registration number, which is valid up to 90 days. It can be further extended by further 90 days. Similarly, a non-resident foreign taxpayer who comes from anywhere from outside India, he also has to take the GST registration. Again, in all these category, whatever I will specify, turnover is not a criteria. You have to take registration even if you have a zero turnover. From the day when you have to, just based on your estimated sales, you have to deposit a particular tax and you have to take the registration number. If you exceed that specified period of 90 or 180 extended period, like in casual taxable person case or a non-resident foreign taxable person case, you have to take a registration as a normal taxable person, not as this category but as a normal taxable person. The difference it makes is that the return filing criteria changes. Means you have to file your normal returns that are GSTR 1 and 3B. Now comes the e-commerce operator. If you are an e-commerce operator or an aggregator, e-commerce operator are basically the people who are allowing people to sell the goods through their platforms like Flipkart, Amazon. And aggregators are the people who are basically allowing people to use their services by aggregating the service like Ola, Uber, or they can be like Zomato, Fugi. So these are the aggregators. Now coming to another category like Netflix, which are OIDAR, Online Information and Data Retrieval Service Provider. They are also required to take the GST registration. And if person is exclusively dealing into goods or dealing in goods and services and supplying good from one state to another state, in that case also registration is required. The important exception to be noted here is that if you are exclusively dealing into services, in that case you are not required to take the GST registration. So if you are dealing in services and you are making interstate supply up to 20 lakh turnover, you are not required to take the registration. As I mentioned in my first category thing, that a service provider is supposed to take GST registration only when the turnover crosses 20 lakh rupees. So this is something very important for most of the people who are service providers, but they take GST number from the very first day just because their consultants have pushed them that you take it to sell their packages. So this need to be taken into your consideration. This is a very important point that I have mentioned right now. So this is about when you should take a number, GST number. Now if you have already taken a GST registration number, then you have to file returns on monthly or quarterly basis. Right now there is a scheme known as QRMPS, quarterly return, that is supposed to be filed by those people who are opting for this scheme. And if you don't want to opt as a quarterly filer, then you can file monthly returns. Repercussions are like, if you are opting for monthly returns, then you have to furnish your invoices through IEFF facility, and at the same time you have to deposit tax on fixed installment basis, or you have to basically compute your tax and deposit that for a particular period. I will not be going to discuss the detail of how to calculate this thing in this video, but definitely we will take it up further in our upcoming videos. So the summary of this video is that if you have to take a GST registration number, it should be a cautious call. You should take it only when it is required, and once you have taken it up, then you should make a note of this, that you should get your returns filed timely. Registration requirement is very simple, turnover based or category of taxpayer wise. If you need any professional help from any of your colleague, any of your chartered accountant, company secretary, go to them, ask them whether you should take or not. If you need help from Legal Suvidha, you can come to us and we will be very happy to help you. Thank you so much from Mayank. Thanks guys.